Hi everyone, currently coming to you live from my bed. I could have gone into the office, but I am here and I'm feeling inspired to chat about today, i.e. Freedom Day number 2, and what I see going forward and what I'm really asking you guys to do your bit. And yeah, to start really questioning everything. Now, I really don't want to be censored. Oh my God, my throat just cut out then. So I'm going to be trying not to use any words that are going to make that happen for me. So yeah, today in New South Wales, the unV'd people have the same freedoms as the V'd people, or the juiced people, let's call the juiced people. And I noticed myself this morning or last night when I was really thinking about this, and I was like, oh my God, yay, I can go and do normal life. And I was looking up like what I can do and like where I can go and all of these things. And I got this like little ping of excitement. And then I was like, hang on. I really can see how if I'm being excited and I'm pretty neutral around this whole thing and I can feel like I'm seeing through most of it. If I'm getting excited, then there must be a lot of other people who are also getting excited and potentially more excited than me. And the danger of that is that this is not over. Like, this is so far from over that we have to be so careful that we're not being complacent. This is just one tiny little bump in the road, like one tiny little hill that we're going up on to then be slammed back into some kind of like, slump of some kind. And I'm not saying this to be like doomsday-ish, but you have to understand that just because we've now had 90% juiced or whatever percentage we're up to, that doesn't mean that we're free. Like, far from it. Far from being free. And oh my gosh, the fact that people are even calling it Freedom Day. I mean, when this first happened, when they got to like 80% juice or whatever it was, and then they were like, yay, we can open shops and we can open like normal life, and they called it Freedom Day. That to me was like very alarming, because if you have to show some kind of documentation to do things that you should be able to do as your right as a human, that is not freedom. If you have to have some kind of procedure just to keep your job, just to earn money, which in this society is necessary to even survive, that's not freedom. If you have to choose, it's not even a choice. If you get told what you can and can't do because of something that you were coerced into or not coerced into doing, it's not freedom, guys. It's not freedom. It's so far from freedom that it's actually scary and ridiculous how many people are tapped into this concept of what freedom is. And this is what's happening, and what I've been saying this whole time is like, they will continue to make us trust in tiny little moments like this, where they've been saying the 15th of December for a couple of months now will be the day when everyone can have their freedoms back. And I, in particular, did not think this would happen. I didn't think that they'd give us this reason to trust them. I thought that they'd slam it in our face and be like, aha, joke's on you. Nope, January. But the fact that they haven't done that actually makes it more apparent what the overall plan is and how long-term this game is, right? Because already with the new thing that they're talking about, the new, how can I say this without being, the new version of this that they're talking about, they're already talking about 3 juices just for that individual version. right? So all of a sudden, you've already had 2 juices. You're going to have a third one for this version. And then there's a new version. You're going to have 3 separate juices for that. Now, I've been doing juice energy removal. It sounds so funny saying it like that. Protocols for about 3 months now, right? Every single person who has had the juice has heart inflammation. Every single person. I saw a stat this morning that says that I think it was about 53% of people with heart inflammation, specifically myocarditis. Oh my God, am I being alarmist? I don't want to alarm anyone, but I just want to let you know that I think it's 53% of people who have myocarditis die within the first 2 years, and that percentage goes up over 4 years. I have been saying for the longest time now that this is not just like something that you just go and get. This is not the flu shot. It's not the flu shot. It's not the same as all the other juices that you get in your life. This is, a lot of medical people are even saying that this is not, like, can barely be considered a juice. I love saying it like this. It's so fun. And wow. So if every single person that I've done a removal on has inflammation, that's a lot of people. If 90% of the people in the state / country, I don't know what the country's up to right now, but if 90% of the people in the state have had the juice, and every person that I've had personal experience with has inflammation, that's a lot of people who have inflammation and already have passed away from this, but are potentially going to pass away. That's a lot of people's families, a lot of people's partners, a lot of people's kids, a lot of people's colleagues, friends. That's a lot of people. And there is a theory going around that this is, and I actually believe in this too, that this is a way to thin out the population. So these controls are not, like, it doesn't just make the situation go away. This is a long-term thing, and while we're seeing the old systems and structures of our society crumble, we're going to see more control and more reasons for you to get the juice. That's what you're going to be told. There's going to be more fear, there's going to be more control, all of these things. And unless you can question everything that you're being told, unless you can start to see through what's going on, you will not be able to withhold and withstand the pressure. You have to be able to come into a place where you feel strongly enough in yourself that you trust your own information and your own judgment and your own inner compass to make the right decision. And that decision will be different for everyone. Your decision is not going to be the same as my decision, and I'm totally okay with that, and I totally respect that. But I want your decision, whether you're going to have the 6 juices or not, to be based on not fear and not coercion, but actual soul alignment. And I can pretty much guarantee that most people, when they step out of fear, the juice will not be in soul alignment, because the whole energy of the entire situation and the entire juice is based on fear and coercion and control. And when you're stepping away from that, there's literally no resonance between you and the juice. Because you, when you're not in fear, you don't even have time, space, energy for fear, because it's not something that's even in your reality, right? So, yes, while we do get a small reprieve in which shops we can go to and what we can do and, kind of, but not really, going back to a normal life, this is literally just a tiny little cog in the big plan to implement more control long term. To implement more world domination, to implement more thinning out of the population. And you as an individual, I've just posted about this, you as an individual need to be asking these questions. Number one, what if my conspiracy theory friends are right? What would that mean for me, my family, my friends, my colleagues, my loved ones, my partner, my kids? If they were right this entire time, how would my life change? And there's going to be a period of grief. If that is enough to like snap you out of the facade, there's going to be a lot of grief. And I want you to know that that's totally normal. There's going to be a period where your entire life feels like it's falling apart, and that's completely normal. That's just your old way of being crumbling so that you can invite in a new perspective and a new way of being, a new way of seeing and thinking. Who would benefit? Ask yourself this. Who would benefit from all of this situation if none of it was real? Who would benefit? Guarantee it's not the people. If you were one of the people who passed away from inflammation of the heart, how would your choice make you perceive the world? Like if you were in the hospital because of the juice, how would your perception of this entire situation change? And I'm not saying this to scare you, because that's the last thing that I want. I do not want to be responsible for putting more fear into the collective. What I do want is for you to start to question everything. Where are you getting your news from? Where are you getting your information from? Because you have to understand that literally every platform that is considered mainstream is being censored, is being paid to put out a one-sided narrative. And I've noticed on my social media, there's a lot less people talking about the juice being a good idea now, because there's a lot of people who know people who are having side effects. There's a lot of people who know people who are passing away. There's a lot of people who know someone who, or are that person, who feels lethargic and doesn't feel like themselves and feels like they can't connect to their spiritual side and feels like they're not intuitively strong anymore. There is a lot more people talking about this. There is a lot more people coming out and speaking openly about their stance on this and saying like, this isn't actually normal. It's not normal to be in a world like this. It's not normal to be experiencing this level of control and manipulation. It's not normal to be having to show documentation for everyday activities like going to do your Christmas shopping. It's not normal. And yeah, you just need to be questioning everything. Every piece of information that comes across your radar, you need to ask, does this feel true to me? What would happen if this wasn't true? And literally for both sides. I do this with every piece of information from both sides, because you have to be able to discern what is right for you. And you have to be able to do that from a place of neutrality. You can't do that when you're feeling fear, when you're feeling really scared. And I'm going to just say that the fear and the scare doesn't just come from both sides. There are people posting and fighting about being, anti-juice or anti-this juice, not necessarily anti-all juices, but anti-this juice, who are in fear. And when you're in that emotionally volatile state, you literally do not serve anyone, because what happens is your emotion gets in the way of your rationality. So if you're operating from an emotionally volatile or emotionally charged place, you can't see clearly. It's not possible. That's just how the human mind, brain, emotion response works. You can't see all things clearly when you're in an emotional charge. So I really just want you to know that this is not over. It's not winding down. We're not going into a place of normalcy just because we got to 90%. That's not how it works. It's not how this works, because the people who are implementing this control, they know they've fucked up. And imagine being in a place of power and knowing that you've fucked up. You literally, your ego, because a lot of people in power are operating from this ego place, right, would not allow you to be seen to have fucked up, because that would jeopardize everything that you've been doing for the last 2 years. So they're going to be holding on for dear life to their story, to their narrative, to their stance on this. And this will continue. We did the right thing. And also, why have they purchased millions of doses of the third juice to, like, more millions than we have in the population of this country? And if you're not from Australia, you know that I'm talking about Australia because I'm Australian. I don't know exactly what's going on in the rest of the world, but the Australian leadership has literally purchased, like, I think it's like 6 doses per person in the population. So if they've already pre-purchased this many things and you think it's going to end after your third juice, you have to be living under a rock, because that is just not, it's not even a thought that's crossed their mind. It's 1 more juice, and then it's another more juice, and then it's 3 more juices for the new version, and then it's all of a sudden you're at 10 juices. Like, I don't know if it's going to go up to 10. I hope that the old world crumbles before that happens. But we have to, if you are feeling what I'm saying, and if you are, either just starting to resonate with what I'm saying, or you've been resonating with my viewpoint or this viewpoint for a while, I need you to speak up. I need you to reach out to me, because when we all come together and we start leading, number one, I'm calling on females in particular, because the feminine energy is the thing that is going to lead us forward, right? And for so long, females in our society have been deemed as less than, and you can say whatever you want about this, I don't really care. Historically, that's what's been happening, and this is the time, and this is why we were all chose to be here at this time, is to step up and lead from a place of emotional neutrality and feminine leadership. And even if you're a male and you are resonating with this, like, reach out to me, comment below, like, let me know that you're there. Because we have to step up, and it's not in the way that you think it is. Like, it's a different way. We have to, like, come back to ourselves, come back to our purpose, really realize what our next version of ourselves is, because I guarantee you it's nothing like any past version that you have been through. I guarantee that as we move into this new way of operating in the world, and as this old world crumbles, as more people start to realize that they've been conned, then there will be new and innovative ways that we all come together and rise up, and it's going to be looking a lot different than we perceive. So if this resonates with you, you are the person that is being called to step up and lead. And that literally just starts by you asking yourself these questions. It literally starts by you going within and asking, what is my purpose? How am I supposed to lead? What do I actually believe about this? And it's not necessarily yelling from the rooftops. Like, I definitely don't think that strategy is for everyone. I definitely think that everyone has their own way of leading in this time. It might be just through your immediate family and friends. It might be just through your immediate community. But at some point, if you're still watching this and if you're resonating with this, it is your time to step up and lead. It is your time to use your voice and to question and to elevate your way of being and your energy, and the way that you're energetically presenting yourself in the world is going to have a ripple effect out to the others in your community, into your family, into your friends groups, into your colleagues, all of these things. It's going to have a ripple effect just by you stepping up and taking responsibility and doing the work that actually puts you in a place of emotional neutrality and deep, deep resonance with what is your soul truth. So that's my message for today. Don't be conned by this freedom shit. And if this resonates with you and you're still watching and you are you're one of these people that's being called to lead, literally, you can just share this video. Like, that's all it takes, is just sharing posts, sharing information, sharing videos from a place of emotional neutrality, where you're not in fear, where you're not in anxiety, where you're not stressed, where you're not overwhelmed, but you're just in acceptance and deep love. You're doing this out of deep love for the future of humanity. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a lovely rest of your day and week, and I will see you next time. Bye.